Hey guys, Mike at Z1 Addons. I'm going to show you how to put our rear rock guards on the 2024 Mustang today. We're utilizing mostly factory location. We're going to remove this push clip. There's a couple hidden 7mm bolts that we're going to have to remove. And then we'll be adding our block that we supply with 3M tape, a little 6mm screw, an OEM replacement screw with a couple spacers, and then we got one we're going to have to add a Tinnerman clip. I'll show you how to do that in a step ahead, but we're going to have I think it's like a 3-inch or 2.5-inch bolt right here. First, we're going to start off by taking this bottom push pin. You're going to want to use a panel removal tool or a flathead screwdriver, whatever is easier for you. So we'll go ahead and show you how to do that. If you happen to not mess it up, we'll definitely reuse it. We're going to need that. Then we're going to need our 7mm, you can use an impact gun or a 7mm socket on the ratchet. There's one that's recessed in here. We're going to have to get in here and remove just like that. There's also one up here we're going to actually take out. You won't be reusing these, so you can throw them away or keep them in your toolbox, do whatever you got to do. This next step, we're actually going to grab our M6 Tinnerman clip. We're going to show you where to put this. We're going to actually have to pull this carpet liner back. And earlier step where we removed that 7mm screw, we're going to actually have to put the Tinnerman clip there and remove the other one that's there. It's actually a 4.2. So we'll show you how to do that. You're also going to want to remove these two 7mm screws. It helps you gain access to that Tinnerman clip that's hidden back there. So once you remove those, you can actually squeeze your hand back there. So now that you have these two 7mm removed from the bracket, it'll help you gain access to these clips. There's actually 3 there now. You're going to want to remove that center one right here. You're going to want to get a pick tool or a flathead screwdriver, anything you can fit to pry that lip off. I'll show you how to do that. So you're going to want to pry this little lip right here that's on this Tinnerman clip with a flathead screwdriver, anything small, pick tool like I said. It'll help you gain access to this. It's kind of tough. See, it comes off just like that. Usually fly off or do whatever. So we're actually going to grab our M6 one like I was talking about earlier. Install that in place just like that. So now that we have the M6 installed, we're going to go ahead and put this back to the bracket, and we're going to install this two 7mm screws that we uninstalled. You might want to go ahead and tighten these up. These are the ones hidden behind the carpet. Gonna make sure everything lines up though, so you can see that middle hole that with the M6 clip. So make sure everything lines up so it makes you installing the spacer and everything in the later step easier. Cool. So now in this next step, we're gonna use that push pin that you previously removed at this very bottom. We're gonna go ahead and put it through the rock guard, very bottom hole. Gonna push it through the factory location, just like that. You might need to get your hand back there to help push on, but once it's like that, we're gonna go ahead and move to the next step. You're not gonna want to install any of these screws yet. We're gonna move to the block that we supply. We're gonna move to this thing. We're actually gonna put it on the vehicle sideways like this, long ways. You're going to use the long leg just like that, kind of flush with the bumper edge. We're going to swing the rock guard over flush with the edge of the bumper, and as long as you can see a part of that acrylic block, we're going to mark that with the Sharpie and go ahead and also take reference of where you're installing it on the vehicle. We're then going to clean this inside edge for that 3M tape that's on this block will stick and adhere properly. Then we'll drill that hole that you marked with the Sharpie through the factory rock guard, and then we'll show you how to install from there. You're going to want to use rubbing alcohol. Pretty much clean this inside edge. Don't want to use anything soapy, silicone-ish, none of that. Straight alcohol. Just like that. Then you're going to want to recheck before we peel the tape and actually stick it. You're going to want to recheck everything lines up. So that's about where we need to be. We're going to go ahead and peel the tape off. Just like that. You're going to go ahead and press it on like that. Should stick real tight. So now that you have the top hole pretty much lined up, ready to install the screw, we're actually going to do these two middle ones first before you final install the top one. We're gonna start with this 2 1/4 inch spacer and this long M6 bolt that we have. I'm gonna feed this through the spacer between the car, and you're gonna reach that recessed Tinnerman clip that's way hidden that we installed earlier. So you're gonna hand thread that a few times. Might be a little tricky. You want to go ahead and leave it a little loose so you have a little bit of adjustment there. We're going to move on to the next supplied hardware. We're going to have the OEM replacement screw, washer, and then a 1 inch spacer. This will go into a factory Tinnerman clip that was already there. We pulled the 7mm out of there earlier. Like I said, spacer between the car, hardware through the front. Should line up perfectly to the factory Tinnerman. You're also going to leave that one loose until we get this top one situated. Once we get all the hardware hand tight or hand installed, we're going to go ahead and work our way up and install everything. Just like that. So all the hardware is aligned and hand started. You want to make sure this lip tapers into the factory bumper. However you want, you can have it sticking out a little bit. It's kind of up to you. You're going to use an impact or a hand screwdriver. You want to make sure you don't strip these out either. Work our way up. Make sure to reference this top corner again, because once you install everything, actually we'll pull it in. Just like that. So everything looks good still. We'll work to this final one. Just like that. So now that all the hardware is installed, you have 4 pieces of hardware holding this rock guard on. It's going to help you from kicking rocks onto the back quarter panel right here, or your rear bumper actually. And it'll help protect you at the track too, kicking rocks on other people, etc. So thanks again.